Daniel Radcliffe, Emma Watson, and Rupert Grint. This trio formed the emotional center of the Harry Potter films and developed a friendship that mirrored their characters' bond in many ways. They met as children during casting in 2000 and spent the next decade growing up together on set. The three experienced adolescence under extraordinary circumstances, navigating fame, education, and personal growth while filming one of the biggest franchises in history. Radcliffe has described the experience as being raised by each other, with Watson and Grint becoming like siblings. Watson has spoken about how the boys protected her and made her feel safe during difficult scenes and overwhelming press tour. Grint, the quietest of the three, has said that filming felt like home because of them. Their friendship endured the pressures that often destroy child-star relationships. They supported each other through awkward phases, romantic entanglements, and the intense scrutiny that came with their roles. After the films ended, they took different paths professionally, but they've remained connected. Reunions are emotional and genuine, filled with inside jokes and shared memories that only they can fully understand. This friendship matters because it was real in a world of manufactured celebrity relationships, built during formative years when authenticity still mattered more than image. Tom Felton and Emma Watson. This friendship surprised fans because their characters were adversaries, but off-screen they developed a close bond that has lasted decades. Felton and Watson connected early during filming, with Felton being slightly older and taking on an almost protective role. Watson has admitted to having a childhood crush on Felton, something she's discussed openly in interviews and during the reunion special. Felton was aware of her feelings at the time but saw her as a younger sister. Despite the age difference and her unrequited feelings, they remained close friends. Felton taught Watson to skateboard between takes, and they often spent time together outside of filming. Their friendship deepened over the years, becoming something more complex than either romance or simple friendship. Both have described it as a soulmate connection, though not in a romantic sense. They still spend time together regularly, posting pictures on social media and supporting each other's projects. Felton has been there for Watson through difficult periods, and she's spoken about how he understands her in ways few people do. Their bond shows that childhood crushes can evolve into meaningful, lasting friendships when both people genuinely care about each other beyond any romantic dimension. Daniel Radcliffe and Tom Felton. This friendship developed despite their characters' bitter rivalry, with the two bonding over shared experiences and a similar sense of humor. Felton was one of the older kids in the cast and naturally fell into a mentor role for some of the younger actors, including Radcliffe. They spent time together between scenes, often playing games or just talking about normal teenage things away from the intensity of filming. Radcliffe has described Felton as someone who made the long days on set more bearable, someone he could relax around. Felton has spoken about Radcliffe's professionalism and how he handled the enormous pressure of being the franchise's lead with grace. Their friendship was never as publicly visible as some others, but it was steady and genuine. Both have remained in touch after the films, occasionally meeting up and always speaking warmly about each other. What makes this friendship notable is how it cut through the on-screen dynamic. Harry and Draco hated each other, but Daniel and Tom genuinely liked spending time together, proving that actors can separate themselves from their roles even when those roles dominate their lives. Rupert Grint and Tom Felton. This friendship formed around shared mischief and a relaxed, easygoing dynamic that both brought to set. Grint and Felton bonded over music, sports, and a similar laid-back personality that contrasted with the intensity some other cast members brought. They often spent downtime together, and Felton has mentioned that Grint was one of the people he felt most comfortable around during filming. Grint is naturally funny and low-key, which meshed well with Felton's more outgoing but equally playful nature. They've remained friends over the years, occasionally appearing together at events or commenting on each other's social media. Their friendship represents the quieter bonds that formed on set, the ones that didn't always make headlines but were just as real. Both have spoken about missing the camaraderie of the Harry Potter days, and their continued connection shows that some friendships survive simply because two people enjoy each other's company without drama or complication. Emma Watson and Bonnie Wright. This friendship connected two of the main female cast members who both navigated growing up in the public eye within the franchise. Wright played Ginny Weasley, Ron's younger sister and eventually Harry's love interest, while Watson was Hermione. The two bonded over the unique pressures of being young women in a massive film series, dealing with appearance scrutiny and the challenges of portraying romantic relationships on screen. Watson has mentioned that having other girls on set made the experience less isolating, and Wright was someone she could talk to about things the boys wouldn't understand. They supported each other through the awkwardness of filming romantic scenes and the constant media attention focused on their looks and personal lives. While their friendship wasn't as publicly documented as some others, they maintained respect and warmth toward each other. Both have spoken about the sisterhood that existed among the female cast members, and their connection was an important part of that. Wright and Watson represented different types of female characters, and their off-screen friendship showed that women in the industry could support each other rather than compete. Matthew Lewis and the core cast. This friendship illustrates how the extended cast integrated with the main trio and their closest friends. Lewis played Neville Longbottom, a character who grew from comic relief to hero over the course of the series. Off-screen, Lewis was well-liked by everyone and formed particularly close bonds with Radcliffe and the Phelps twins. He's spoken about how welcoming the main cast was and how they never made him feel like a secondary character despite his smaller role in early films. Lewis went through an awkward phase during adolescence that was documented on screen, and his castmates supported him rather than mocked him. Radcliffe has praised Lewis's talent and transformation, both as an actor and a person. The friendships Lewis formed on set helped him navigate the challenges of growing up in the spotlight while playing a character who was often the butt of jokes. His integration into the larger cast, family, shows that the Harry Potter set fostered genuine inclusivity among its actors. Maggie Smith and the adult cast. This represents the bonds formed among the veteran actors who brought gravitas and experience to the franchise. Smith, who played Professor McGonagall, worked alongside actors like Alan Rickman, Michael Gambon, and Julie Walters. These established performers developed mutual respect and friendship based on shared craft and decades of experience. Smith has spoken about the professionalism on set and the joy of working with other actors at her level. While these friendships were more reserved and private compared to the younger cast's exuberant bonds, they were no less meaningful. The adult actors often looked out for the children, offering advice and creating a safe environment. Smith in particular became a mentor figure to many young actors, though she maintained her famously sharp wit and high standards. These relationships added depth to the production, showing that friendship can exist across generations and experience levels. Alan Rickman and Daniel Radcliffe. This friendship crossed generational lines and became one of the most touching relationships from the films. Rickman was a legendary actor when he joined Harry Potter, while Radcliffe was an unknown child. Despite the vast difference in age and experience, Rickman treated Radcliffe with respect and kindness from the beginning. Radcliffe has spoken extensively about how much he learned from Rickman, not just about acting but about professionalism and treating people well. Rickman gave Radcliffe advice during difficult periods and wrote him letters throughout filming. When Rickman passed away in 2016, Radcliffe wrote a heartfelt tribute describing him as one of the greatest actors he'd ever worked with and a genuinely caring person. Rickman apparently knew Snape's full story from the beginning, a secret J.K. Rowling shared with him, and he brought that depth to his performance and his relationship with Radcliffe. This friendship mattered because it showed that mentorship can happen naturally when someone established is willing to invest in someone just starting out. Evanna Lynch and the cast. This friendship represents how new members were welcomed into an already tight-knit group. Lynch joined the franchise in the fifth film as Luna Lovegood, arriving when the core cast had already been working together for years. She was a superfan of the books who won her role partly through her genuine love of the character and story. The existing cast embraced her warmly, with Lynch forming particularly close bonds with the younger actresses. She's spoken about how nervous she was joining such an established group and how kind everyone was in making her feel included. Lynch struggled with personal issues during filming, and her castmates provided support and friendship during difficult times. Her experience showed that the Harry Potter family could expand without losing its welcoming nature. Lynch has remained close with several cast members, attending reunions and staying active in the fandom community. The Marauders generation. This includes actors like Gary Oldman, David Thewlis, and Timothy Spall, who played Sirius Black, Remus Lupin, and Peter Pettigrew. These actors portrayed characters with deep shared history, and they developed their own camaraderie on set. Oldman and Thewlis particularly bonded over their scenes together and their approach to bringing these complex characters to life. Both are serious actors who brought depth to their roles while also enjoying the experience of being part of something culturally massive. They've spoken about the unique pleasure of playing characters in a beloved story and working with a cast that genuinely respected each other. Their friendships were professional but warm, built on mutual admiration and the shared experience of joining an ongoing franchise in its later stages. These relationships added another layer to the cast dynamic, showing that even actors with limited screen time formed meaningful connections. Tom Felton and the Slytherin cast. This group includes actors like Jamie Waylett and Josh Herdman, who played Crabbe and Goyle, Felton's on-screen henchmen. The three spent significant time together filming scenes where they tormented other students, and they developed genuine friendships despite playing bullies. Felton has mentioned that the Slytherin actors formed their own small community within the larger cast, bonding over playing the villains. They had fun with their roles and didn't take the negative fan reactions personally because they had each other. This friendship shows how even actors playing unlikable characters can form supportive relationships based on shared experiences. The Slytherin group may not have been as celebrated as the heroes, but they created their own sense of belonging on set.